A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene alongside. It is a rainy Thursday morning in Western North Carolina, but we got football tonight. Y'all excited, Jeremy? The Thursday night showdown in Jacksonville, Florida, between the Miami Dolphins and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Can you call that football? I mean, they have a football on the field, but I don't know that consists of football.
Oh, come on. You got the beard versus the stash. What could be better on a Thursday night than two teams that have no prospects for doing anything this season? If you've got fantasy players from those teams, maybe you're interested a little bit. But for the most part, I feel like this is a throwaway Thursday night game yet again.
Well, I mean, they try to get every team one primetime game. And frankly, if you're going to do it on Thursday. I'll watch anything. I don't care. You could have one of these teams play a high school team, and I'd go, yeah, I'm probably going to watch it.
Think about the fantasy points that would be scored at night.
It's better than Dancing with the Stars or The Masked Singer or any of this other dumb horse shit that people watch.
Well, you do have Game 4 tonight. Your Denver Nuggets going up against the Los Angeles Lakers at 9 o'clock. So there's that.
Lakers, Bakers, Candlestick Makers, Nugs and 7.
2-1 is the series lead for the Los Angeles Lakers. We'll get into more of that game coming up in just a little bit. But last night, it is now a 3-1 series. The Miami Heat calling up their hero. Tyler Hero, 37 points last night. He was unbelievable.
Series is over. Miami
Yes.
Heat will be in the finals, and they will be in the finals as of tomorrow night.
I agree with that. I don't see the Boston Celtics coming back from the 3-1 deficit against this Miami team. It's just I don't know if it's just a flat out we want it more.
It is.
It's the attitude.
They're so good defensively. They just play so hard, and they play well together. They have tightened the rotation down to 7 guys. Now, you're going to get the same 7 guys against. I'm saying the same thing about the Heat that I'm saying about the Nuggets, is that they have figured out the rotation. The other team is still trying to figure this out. You know, the Celtics are still throwing Brad Wanamaker out there and you know, Semi Ojeleye and Robert Williams and just trying to find lightning in a bottle somewhere. But they don't have it. Heat won this game last night. Heat are going to win tomorrow night, and they're going to be in the finals.
Tyler Hero, one of the most impressive performances of all time by a rookie. I think he was only the 4th rookie of all time to score 30 or more points in a playoff game.
It hadn't been many.
He's unbelievable.
He's real good.
And I don't know that it's, I mean, is it pure talent, or is it that he's just getting hot, or what?
Last night it was just that's the way the defense broke down. You know, it also didn't hurt that he was 14 and 21 from the floor, which is not sustainable for a deep shooting guard. But he had a great game. That's the thing about the Heat, though. You never know who it's going to be. It could be Butler. It could be Adebayo. It could be Dragic. It could be Duncan Robinson. It could be Hero. Who knows? They're going to be hard to beat. And I think the only team left that can beat them is my fighting Denver Nuggets.
So if it turns out Miami and LA, you're going to favor Miami in that series.
I will. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they can defend. They can do what the Lakers can't contend with. They can defend them. They can play that grinded out, 98, 95 game that the Lakers want to play, and they're better at it.
Yeah. Bam Adebayo going up against Anthony Davis.
Oh, I want the Nuggets to win, but that matchup makes oh boy, it'd be fun to watch. The Heat are a fantastic team. I mean, and at what point do you just stop doubting Pat Riley? You just look at the team and go, I don't see it, but yeah, you. I'm going with you.
I'm going with you. 112-109 was the final score last night. Miami getting the victory over the Boston Celtics. That series now 3-1. And yes, it looks like it looks like the dark clouds have descended over Brad Stevens and his team.
Mm-hmm. They're not winning 3 in a row.
And do you
it's not
think?
happening.
And what does this say for them moving forward?
You got the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, this is a step. They need some depth, is what it says to me. You know, Daniel Tice playing 30 minutes is not necessarily a sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's a good defender. He is a liability offensively. You're playing 4-on-5 offensively, so they need a big guy. You know, maybe Robert Williams can be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but they need a big guy that runs with the ones that can be even half-assed offensively.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Do you look at the Boston Celtics and say that this is a team that can contend for a title over the next few years in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah. They have flawed stars that, you know, you get hot at the right time. You do what the Heat are doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
You add a piece or two. You draft well, which Danny Ainge has always done. I mean, think back to when he took Jaylen Brown and we went, what are you doing?
Right.
And now you look back and go, yeah, he was right.
That was a good call.
Yeah, that was a good call.
Mm-hmm. Jason Tatum had an awful night last night. Didn't even score a point in the first half of the ball game.
Yeah, he scored 28 in the second half.
Yeah. Well, he came back.
Yeah, he's okay. he's okay.
Yeah, it's just weird to me to see a team be down 3-1 in a series, knowing that they have led for 75% of the minutes in the series.
You don't lead when it matters, and you lose.
Mm-hmm. But
I look at this and go, none of this has surprised me. The thing that surprised me is that a team that has Jimmy Butler as the best player is getting ready to be in the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to like them to win it. Possibly.
Unless the Nuggets make it.
If the Nuggets make it, I'm riding this train. I ain't jumping off now.
Well, no. And like I said, I don't think anybody expects you to. But we do want you to be realistic about the series. And I think some people don't feel you're being realistic when you say a 2-1 deficit to the Lakers doesn't matter.
A 3-1 deficit didn't matter to the Jazz or to the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
The Clippers, who everybody and their brother that watches the NBA said was going to be a great series with the Lakers. So you think I'm worried they're down 2-1? No, I'm not. And I'm telling you, I have the same issue with the Lakers that I have with the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
If the Nuggets do what I know they're capable of doing, I don't know how you're going to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still don't know how you're going to defend Jokic, and you haven't done it particularly well. And I don't know how you're going to stop Jamal Murray. This setting works better for these young, little, spunky teams.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I think you're going to have a Heat-Nuggets finals. And I'll be here for it.
This sounds so gross.
Oh, it's so good. I love it. I love it. Nuggets Heat, I'm in. Adam Silver will start doing shots of Evan Williams at 7 o'clock in the morning every day.
Yes, he will.
Because that is not going to rate well.
Uh-uh.
It will at my house, though. It'll get 100% rating at my house.
There's something to be said for for a surprise. And surprises are fun. You know, I say this about March Madness all the time. Surprises are great. Cinderella stories are great. But they're only great for a couple of rounds.
Oh, I don't disagree with you.
And then when you get down to the finals,
I kill that narrative.
Mm-hmm.
The lowest rated finals games of all time had George Mason and Loyola Chicago in them. It's not an accident.
Right.
Because nobody cares.
Right.
We want Cinderella for the first weekend of the tournament, then we want it to go away.
Right.
I don't think the Nuggets are Cinderella. I don't look at that way.
I think everybody else does.
And that's fine. It's hard for me to look at a team as a Cinderella when I told you 3 weeks before the playoffs started that was who's going to win the finals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just because you didn't get the memo, that's not my fault.
That's not your fault.
I said it enough times that it shouldn't be coming as a shock to anybody.
I see where you're coming from, but at least you can recognize that this is not the series anybody wanted, and this is not a series that I think anybody's going to run out to see.
I will. I'll run out and see it.
Even though I think you should. I mean, if this turns out to be the series, I think it's going to be a great series.
Here's my problem with people that say the Nuggets and the Heat are Cinderellas. Is there any way in the world that you can't look at me and say that Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Jamal Murray, and Nikola Jokic are top 20 players in the NBA?
No.
Then you're not a Cinderella. You have these two teams collectively have 4 of the top 20 players in the NBA, and you're telling me it's Cinderella. No, it's not. Mm-hmm. No, it's not. It would have been Cinderella if the Memphis Grizzlies had gotten here.
Right.
Because the best player on that team is Jaren Jackson. Yeah. That's a Cinderella story.
Yeah.
This is you were late to the party in large part.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing Cinderella-y about this to me.
Tonight, I feel like it is a must-win scenario. I know that sounds cliche, but
I think it's a must-win for both.
I
think whoever wins this game is going to win the series.
That's how I feel as well.
And it's going to be my fighting Denver Nuggets.
If you don't want to end up facing, or if you don't want to end up with the momentum completely shifted in one direction or the other, then you need to win tonight. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. If the Lakers win, obviously they're up 3-1. They just got to get one out of the next 2 games or 3 games, and it'll be fine. On the other hand, if the Denver Nuggets come back from an 0-2 deficit to tie the series at 2 games apiece, and they've already made historic comebacks in the last 2 series, the pressure on the Los Angeles Lakers might be overwhelming.
I think they're going to be tight as hell tonight. I really do. And my favorite stat of this series, Anthony Davis has, as of tonight, played more games in the playoffs in this series than he's played in his entire career.
Yeah.
And I think it's starting to show. I think the pressure of it's starting to show. I always said I don't think he can be the best player on a championship team. I think he can be the 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think now he has to be the best player. LeBron at 35, he needs that Robin to his Batman. And if Anthony Davis is not real good, they're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have anything else.
Yes.
The bench on that team sucks something awful. The other 3 starters on that team suck something awful. I will say that, I have to go back and say I was wrong about something, which I don't do lightly. This is where Avery Bradley not being here hurts. Mm-hmm. Because Avery Bradley would be the guy on Jamal Murray. Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't have to worry with Rondo. Rondo could run with the second team, keep the ball moving, and that would be okay. Now you have a problem. Because now you have to put Rondo out there 30 minutes a night. He's a liability offensively. And he's the only way you can defend Jamal Murray. Because Alex Caruso gets beat like a kettle drum.
Mm-hmm.
And so does Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Or Danny Greene or whoever else you put on it.
It is a god-awful situation to find yourself, because I've done this after watching the Lakers the last few games, and it's just like, I don't know, I get this weird sinking feeling when I look out on the court and I see Anthony Davis and then 4 dudes. Like LeBron's taking a breather, and he comes off the floor, and that looks like a god-awful team. It's exactly like Anthony Davis is back in New Orleans again.
Yeah. They had to give up every good role player they had to get Anthony Davis in the building.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what happens when you have to gut a team to get the superstar. You better be really good at adding those players. And instead, they added Markieff Morris and guys like that have been atrocious.
Mm-hmm. They have not been good. They need role players to step up in this series, and I don't know how you wave that magic wand and make it happen. But if it doesn't happen tonight, I think you're seriously putting yourself in a position to not only lose this series, but think of the major implications of that.
I want to see it happen. I want to see the world burn when the Lakers lose.
Yep. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen, because you've got Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and what have we been sold since this marriage came to fruition?
It's title or bust.
Right. We have been sold that this is the best team in the NBA. This team is going to go on and win the NBA Finals, and LeBron's going to have another title, and Anthony Davis is going to be, heralded as, one half of the equation that brought championships back to Laker Town and all that. That is going to burn down quickly if it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
I think they're playing with fire. And
they're playing with fire. Oh, they're playing with fire. Because my Nuggets are fire.
You all of a sudden just turned into a 16-year-old girl. My Nuggets are fire. Weirdo.
I don't care. I don't care. I said this before the playoffs started, and I am going to will it into existence. I was the only one. I looked.
Mm-hmm. Nobody else picked the Nuggets.
Not one that I saw.
Really?
Not anybody in mainstream media. Not anybody that was willing to put it on camera. I did.
Well, at least you can hang your hat on that if it does end up coming to fruition. But tonight, yes, is Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals with the Lakers and the Nuggets, and I believe it is a must-win scenario. And I know people are going to scoff at that and say, oh, it's just a 2-1 series. They're only 3 games in, but momentum is going to matter.
Oh, 100%. There's no doubt momentum matters.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got here's the thing. I've coached high school level boys basketball. Let me tell you something about the way that this goes. When you have these young guys, all they really need is to know that they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
When you've never done it before and you get into these tournament scenarios and you start playing teams that you're supposed to lose to and you keep winning it, you start to feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof. Nikola Jokic feels like nobody in the NBA can stop him right now. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And you want me to give you the evidence of that? He took 2 shots night before last that he wasn't even looking at the basket. And Gary just went, money. And we've all done it. We've all been at the Y at some point, and we get hot, and just no matter where a team gets mine, takes over.
Yeah.
Heat check from wherever you touch the ball. 4 steps over half court, fire that shit away. And that's where Nikola Jokic is right now. And that's where Jamal Murray is right now.
Right.
And you've given a little confidence to Monte Morris and to Michael Porter Jr., who's never been here before. And this team's been together so long that they know each other crazy well. Mm-hmm. And so when you get into these tight scenarios, which I got news for you, this is a tight scenario. If you're the Lakers or the Nuggets, this is a tight scenario. The fact that you've been together forever, that helps. I mean, really look at the Nuggets roster of guys that actually play minutes, not the 14th guy off the bench. I don't care about that. Mm-hmm. Look at the guys that play legitimate minutes, and look at how long they've been on this team. Jokic has been here since he was drafted. Mm-hmm. Gary Harris, same way. He was traded to Denver on draft night. Millsap's been here for several years. Jeremy Grant's the only one that just got here. Everybody else has been together forever. They know what they're going to do. You get comfortable with a guy. The Lakers don't have that. Mm-hmm. Look at their roster conversely. Anthony Davis, how long's he been here?
Yeah.
JaVale McGee. Danny Greene. And KCP and Kuzma have been here. It doesn't matter because they don't know anybody on the team.
Right.
And they never play together.
Right.
That matters. Mm-hmm. They have LeBron and AD have won the first 2 series. Now they're up against a team that is legitimately as talented as them and is deeper than them. And this is going to be a problem. Mm-hmm. Even if the Lakers win this series, I'm not backtracking anything that I've said because it is a problem.
I agree with you, and I agree with you too that it's. You've said it many times. Denver's playing with house money. Denver's playing with house money right now. Nobody expected them to get here, and this season, whether they win or lose, is probably by far and away more than they ever could have expected.
Yeah, this team's going to be a nightmare for a long time. Mm-hmm. Because all these guys love where they are. Damn near all of them have gotten paid at some point, and this is where we are.
When you look at just looking forward into next year, where would you put the Denver Nuggets on your way too early power rankings list for the Western Conference? No way. 1? Mm-hmm. Above Golden State.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys. I forgot about them.
Yeah. There you go. That's a little bit better. And I don't think I can disagree with you. I think they're right there. Mm-hmm. You've got the Golden State Warriors, obviously, with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson coming back and Draymond Green and whoever they're going to pick at the top of the draft. Yeah, that's going to be a scary team once again next year, and I think a lot of people are forgetting that. A lot of people are going, oh, this Denver team, they could, if they turn this into something, they could rule that Western Conference with them and the Lakers.
This Denver team would be a nightmare for the Warriors, just to let that be known.
Oh, I understand.
Because who the hell's going to guard Jokic? Because the tallest guy they play is 6'9", and I get Ivan Drago. Okay. I get Ivan Drago with range at 25 feet. I like that a lot.
James Wiseman.
They're not taking James Wiseman.
I'm just saying. I'm just thinking, like, who could they possibly get that would be a problem for him? I don't think it's going to be like Kevon Looney or.
That's exactly what it would be.
You think he would be a problem for Jokic, though?
No.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
No. Oh,
I'm
you're saying it would be a problem. I'm talking about who it would be.
No. Who can they add that would be a problem for Jokic? I can't really think of one besides if they took James Wiseman, and I don't think he fits that team.
By the way, the conversation of the Nuggets are fire shirt comment in the comments has been lovely. Michael Whiteside said he wanted me in a schoolgirl outfit for the back of that. I'll do it. Don't you threaten me with a good time. I'll do it. It'll look like one of those little. I'll do it as like one of those little Funko things where I have my big ass head and a little body.
Oh yeah.
Is that what the things are called?
Uh-huh.
Never understood.
Pop figures, I think is.
Yeah, pop, whatever the hell.
Yeah. Yeah, Funko Pop figures.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I don't either. My kids have a bunch of them. They like them for some reason.
I don't.
It's weird little statues to me.
Yeah,
But
they're just weird little figures with big ass heads. I'm
like
good.
$40 too.
Those things are like $40.
They're like $30, $40.
no
Sweet,
way.
good. I'm googling now. You talk.
No way.
You talk. I'm looking.
Golly. Then my wife's got some splaining to do because she's bought a bunch of those for my kids, and if they're $30 a piece, I would be pissed. Anyway, yeah, looking forward to next year. I think the Denver Nuggets are right there at the top of the Western Conference power rankings, and while you have to take into account that the Golden State Warriors are retooling and healthy again, and we're going to be right back in the same scenario. I feel like. Because I think immediately they come in and everybody's going to be looking at them as foregone conclusion for NBA champions.
There's a Jordan Tar Heels Funko Pop thing. They're like $10. The collector's ones are what Ron was talking about.
Yeah, that's not one.
The collector's ones are like $40.
Yeah, we live in the $10 world. We don't do all that stuff. But knowing that there's a Jordan Tar Heel one, I think I'm going to own that here pretty soon. Anywho, yeah,
there seems to be a lot of fire for me to wear a schoolgirl outfit. As somebody that went as Melania Trump for Halloween a couple of years ago, don't put it out there unless you want it to happen. I said I was going as Trump. I didn't say which one.
I mean, there's part of me that is intrigued by that, and then there's another part of me that goes, the fact that you're intrigued by that should make you really, really frightened about your mental state.
Just you're intrigued by that made me need to put some distance in.
Not like that, you weirdo. Jeez.
People keep saying it. I will do it. I watched me wear 4-inch stilettos for a full night.
Oh my gosh.
And it was not easy. Because you know what stilettos don't like? A 300-pound fat ass leaning on them for 6 hours.
Yep. There's that. There is all of that. Yeah, no, I don't think there's any doubt that the future is bright for the Denver Nuggets, and anything that they do from here on out, there is just gravy. So you can't count them out in this series, despite the fact that they're trailing 2-1, and tonight if they even up the series, oh boy, you can imagine the pressure that's going to be on them, or on the Lakers anyway, to finish this thing off. Let's talk some football, because I want to talk about Tyrod Taylor, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around how this whole thing happened. So he had an injured rib, and they were going to give him, I guess, like a pain relieving shot or a cortisone shot or something to deal with that on Sunday. And the team doctor for the Los Angeles Chargers, missed and punctured his lung to the point that he had to go to the hospital because he couldn't breathe right. Obviously, a hole in your lung is not an ideal. Yeah, not an ideal situation.
I got this story on Monday, and what I heard was that they had, because it was basically a cortisone shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that they had missed slightly and it had hit the lung, and now he actually punctured it.
Yep.
We've asked how hard this is to do. It's apparently much easier to do than one would think. This doctor's getting killed for this.
Yeah.
It's apparently much easier to do than one would think, which is why I don't go to doctors.
Well, 99% of the time, it works out fine, and this doesn't happen.
Yes.
It's that other 1% of the time that you can apparently miss and cause some more damage. My question is, does Tyrod Taylor have a lawsuit on his hands here?
I've heard this so much. What does it matter? Like, who cares? What, are we going to litigate it for him? This has been talked across the ESPN platform for 36 hours. What do you think he's going to call you, like Matlock? No. Who cares? If he does, he does. You know why I love Tyrod Taylor? Because you know what he did yesterday? He worked with Justin Herbert to get him ready for this week.
Yep.
I love guys like that. And you want to know what? That's why he keeps getting jobs in the league, because he's a good dude. He's a good guy to have around your good young quarterback.
I hate it for him that he was finally in a position where he felt like he would get some run as the starter for the Los Angeles Chargers, and now I don't know that he ever gets that job back.
Devin, I have to respond to what Devin said. Devin says it's not easy. All right, I phrased that poorly. You can't see what you're doing when you're doing this. And so it's a thing that you shouldn't do as a licensed professional. I get it, but it's not unheard of. I didn't make it sound like they fed him rat poison. No, they screwed up. That happens.
Right. And the NFL is going to be investigating the doctor and their team of doctors, and I don't know that anything's going to come out of it. But I do feel bad for Tyrod Taylor because that might be his last chance he gets to start in this league.
It very well could be. But, I mean, that's happening. Tyrod knew going into this season, there's a young kid sitting behind me that looks like Sunshine from Remember the Titans, and that's kid going to take my job. It's the way it is being a 30-year-old quarterback in this league. Baker Mayfield's about to find that out.
I think Baker's a little different circumstances, but
yeah, because he sucks, and he's a dick. Hey, you know what the biggest difference between Tyrod Taylor and Baker Mayfield is? Talent. Tyrod has it and Baker doesn't.
And I have to feel like these endorsement deals that he keeps getting, the commercial deals that he keeps getting, like this is something that was signed, like, this is nothing new, right? He signed these contracts when they thought he was going to be a thing.
Yeah, he's been
and
with
now
Hulu
they
since
just
he was a rookie.
Right, and now they just have to keep putting him in the commercials.
Okay,
because you're not helping your product.
So just since you said that, I have to mention this. So he does the Hulu commercial where they inflate his head?
Yeah.
He's like, look, it's my big head on this little body. And I'm like, it looks like you anyway, bruh. You don't look like you belong in the NFL anyway. I could stand next to Baker Mayfield and it would look like I was taking my kid in on career day.
If they had a contest of worst NFL bodies, I have a feeling it would be a race between Baker Mayfield and
who was the tackle for the Andre Smith?
Oh God. Well, I mean, at least he had size. Hunter Renfrow was the one I was trying to come up with.
Hunter Renfrow is just a little feller as well.
Right.
They weren't no bigger than a squirrel.
Right. Like, these guys don't even look like they would be stars on their high school teams.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what the difference is between me and Hunter Renfrow? Talent. He has it, and I don't.
Yep. Nobody's arguing with that.
God made me funny for a reason.
No one is ever going to argue with that, but I feel like...
Because I'm about as athletic as a wet sneeze. Which is why I talk about sports and don't play them.
Very much so.
At 33 years of age. The doctor narrative on Tyrod's just, I feel like it's gone too far. Like, we've gone down this, how could they ever have done that? Because shit happens. And that's exactly what Tyrod said. And shit happens.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to come back in. I'm going to do my job. They told me not to play, so I'm not going to play. That's it. Doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be the Illuminati or a conspiracy theory.
I'm not saying it's a conspiracy.
No, I've heard it's a conspiracy.
Oh, really?
A lot. Like a shitload.
Like
Justin Herbert hired John Gotti's nephew to come in here and give him the shot. No, somebody screwed it up.
Somebody actually said that.
Oh, I've heard. You got to say something. I'm in a lot of sports groups on Facebook, and you know what I've learned about Facebook? When you don't have to put your actual presence to something, people will say some dumb shit.
Yeah. That's pretty dumb. No, I'm not thinking conspiracy theory or anything like that. I'm just thinking, if Tyrod wanted to, he could make a case.
I'm sure he could, and they'll deal with that.
Yep.
You know what he's not doing? Calling me. I would have been such a good lawyer. I'm already a dick, so I'm halfway there. I'm halfway to the promised land.
But, I mean, this is the risk you take as a football player. I mean, on any given play, it could be over. You could end up with a knee. You could end up with a shoulder. Anything could happen. You just don't expect it when you're in the care of the team doctor that something like this is going to knock you out a couple of games.
I mean, think about what exactly was happening here. They were giving him a cortisone shot so he could put on a flak jacket because he had broken ribs so he could play. It's not exactly like this is a long life scenario anyway. This is a guy that loves the game and is going to do what's best for the game, which is why he was on the practice field with Justin Herbert yesterday, which is why I commend Tyrod Taylor.
Yep. And now I've heard all of the talk about, Justin Herbert is getting his shot. Joe Burrow's getting his shot. When's Tua getting his shot?
It ain't tonight.
It ain't going to happen.
Here's the thing. I've said this all offseason. They're not going to put Tua behind a line that's starting 3 rookies. And they shouldn't. The number one knock on Tua coming into this draft was that he's a little fragile. So why would you put him behind a line that has 50 combined starts, and 30 of them are from Eric Flowers, who sucks? He's a decent guard. He was a terrible tackle.
He's a much better guard than he was a tackle.
Well, he couldn't have been much. He's a much better ballerina than he was tackle, too. Because he sucked something awful at tackle.
He did as well. It's been announced that Nick Mullins will start for the San Francisco 49ers coming up this week because C.J. Beathard just couldn't get the job done. Anybody surprised by that?
Well, C.J. Beathard was the 3 anyway. Nick Mullins came in against us.
Yes.
I don't understand why you brought up C.J. Beathard there. He lost.
Because that was the only competition that he had. Because
They
Jimmy
announced it-
Garoppolo's not going to
Well,
play.
they announced it because Jimmy said he might play.
Mhm.
And then Kyle Shanahan went, no, you're not.
No.
No, you're not.
I
You're
think
not."
we all knew that, didn't we? Didn't we all
Apparently
know he was-
everybody but Jimmy Garoppolo knew that.
You're right. Like, I've
Because
also
he said
heard
he was going to play.
I've also
Or was
heard-
going to try to play.
Yeah, I've also heard that Kittle wanted to play this week too, but I don't think they're going to do that.
He is very questionable from what I've been told.
Mm-hmm. After what
I hope
happened,
he plays.
After what happened on that same field last week against the Jets, they're playing the Giants on that same field where everybody went out with injuries. If you've got anybody that's got an injury, I'm not putting them out there because I don't need them.
Kevin Vick. Tua spent so much time in the tent in college that he should be doing commercials for KOA.
Nice.
That's a good one.
That's
a good old good one.
That is a good one. But yeah, if I was San Francisco, I wouldn't risk anybody going up.
Well, they're
going to
beat the Giants to death.
Right.
And I've heard so much talk about, oh, look, they brought in Devontae Freeman. That's going to help. Saquon Barkley couldn't run behind this line, but a guy the Falcons looked at and went, we'll pass.
Yeah.
That guy's going to save your season. Okay, then.
There is nothing that can save the Giants' season.
No, because they drafted a bad quarterback in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Gettleman thought he was smarter than everybody in the world and said, oh, I'm going to take Daniel Jones when everybody thinks I should take Dwayne Haskins. Who's in better shape right now? Washington football team, New York Giants.
Washington football team.
Not close.
Mm-hmm.
Not even close. The Giants have one of the worst rosters in the NFL. The funny thing is that, in my opinion, the 2 worst rosters in the league play in the same stadium.
And Dave Gettleman has done with this team what he did with the Carolina Panthers.
Wrecked them into an iceberg.
Exactly. I still think the day that the Carolina Panthers got rid of David Gettleman was one of the best things that they did. Now, I'm not a big
Agreed.
fan of Marty Hurney either, but he was a little better.
I agree wholeheartedly.
And if you didn't see this coming with the New York Giants, I feel sorry for you because the trash offensive line that Cam Newton had in Carolina under David Gettleman has now reared its head with the New York Giants.
Mm-hmm.
He is bad at doing this.
Mm-hmm.
He is bad at putting together offensive lines. And I will be shocked if he's not fired. I don't think there's any way around it, frankly.
I don't either.
At this point, it's just how good can I make this season look? Can we possibly get to 6 wins to try to show that we can, that we've made a little bit of progress?
No.
Because what's it been, 3 wins, 5 wins the first 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
And so now 6 is your high water mark, and you're not even
6.
getting close to that. You'd be lucky if you get 2.
They're our biggest competition for Trevor.
And
Trevor, you probably need
would-
to get mentally prepared that you're going to be playing your football in New York for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to be wearing green or blue, but you're going to be wearing one of them.
And he's going to be, I hope he goes to the Jets.
Me too.
I mean, I really do, because if he goes to New York and they don't do something about that offensive line, they could end up ruining him.
Well, here's the thing. We're going to have to trade the Lego fireman if we take him.
Yep.
And I love Sam. And the
I
bad
should-
thing is we're going to trade him somewhere, and he's going to be a Pro Bowler. And I'm going to go, good God, my team is cursed.
Just do it now. Just
No, we're
trade
not
him
trading
now.
We're not trading him now. We're not playing Joe Flacco. Don't be dumb.
Trade him?
We're giving Sam the rest of this year. I don't think Sam's not the problem.
No, he's not
The problem with the Jets and the problem with the Giants is the same problem. You don't have any weapons whatsoever. None. You are bereft of weapons.
If the
The Giants are better, but the Jets line is better.
If your New York Jets would trade Sam Darnold to the Denver Broncos, think about
Wouldn't
it.
happen. They have a second-round pick invested in Drew Lock.
If you would trade him anywhere, then you would cement yourself as the worst
It
team in
doesn't
the
matter
NFL.
if Joe Montana's reincarnated 24-year-old self showed up. The Jets are still going to go 0-16. Because we suck something awful.
No, because you're going to do what
And Adam Gase is our coach.
No, because you're going to do what the Jets do, and they're going to find lightning in a bottle when everybody gets healthy at the end of the season, and they're going to win the last 3 games
Who's
of the
not
season.
healthy? Who's not healthy? Brashad Perriman and Le'Veon Bell?
Yes.
Le'Veon Bell, who's one of the worst running backs in the NFL last year? No, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Brashad Perriman was the best wide receiver last month of the last season. Isn't that what you said?
And he's still fine. He breaks when he brushes his teeth.
Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, would it shock you to find out that the New York Giants and the New York Jets are going into the last month of the season, neither one of them has a win, and the Jets win 2 games?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I don't know who we're beating. Oh, they're playing their backups. Their backups are better than us. The 49ers just played 14 backups against us and beat the fuck out of us.
They're gonna take every opportunity to screw this up for you, Jeremy. I'm just trying to set you up here for success.
No, not. Move on. There's not a team in the league we can beat. The Giants would beat us by 2 touchdowns.
Not one team.
No.
Okay.
They would beat us by 2 touchdowns. We suck something terrible.
Okay. All right. Coming up in week 3 of the NFL season, what are you looking forward to the most?
Every late game, literally every game from the time the 1 o'clock games end to the end of the week.
Okay. So Bucks Broncos is in that.
Yep.
Cowboys Seahawks.
Yep.
Packers Saints on Sunday night.
Yep.
And the Chiefs Ravens on Monday night.
Yep.
So until then, you're just going to enjoy whatever happens between then, and then you'll care it for.
Well, the 1 o'clock games are, there's a couple in there.
Uh-huh.
There's a hell of a lot more Washington football team, Cleveland Browns though. 1 o'clock Sunday's going to be infuriating for me
Okay.
because I'm going to be so hyped for football at 1 o'clock, and the games are going to kick off, and I'm going to go, wow, all this sucks. I'm going to look around every television in this building that we're currently in and just go, woof.
Yep. But the Raiders-Patriots game in the 1 o'clock, I think, is going to end up being the best one.
I think the Raiders beat the shit out of New England.
I think you're way overvalued.
All right, let me ask you a question. Who defends Darren Waller?
Who?
I don't know the answer
You
to
don't
that.
know the answer to that?
I was hoping you'd throw out a name so I could laugh.
I don't have one.
Yeah,
One of the McCourtys, maybe?
Because all right, I thought you were going to say Stephon Gilmore. Okay,
No.
that means Henry Ruggs is going to be defended by who exactly?
No, you're not going to do that. I don't think they'll put Gilmore on the tight end.
He is a matchup nightmare,
Mm-hmm.
and that Raiders team is good, good.
I get that they're good, but the Patriots have already been in shootout games, and I think that
This is not going to be a
one.
shootout. This is going to be bringing a knife to a gunfight, because that's what the Patriots are doing.
You don't think they'll be able to score on the Raiders?
No. They'll score some points. This is not going to be a shootout. This is going to be a blow. This is going to be an out. It'll be a blowout. I've gotten to sit back and listen to all this Cam Newton bullshit for 2 weeks. Oh, it's getting ready to be so good.
Patriots offense is what? Nowhere near as good as the Carolina Panthers offense? Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that at all.
Okay.
Carolina sucks too.
Okay. Well, the Raiders were in a shootout in week 1 with the Carolina Panthers, so.
I don't so much know that you'd call that a shootout when Josh Jacobs had 28 carries in that game.
Okay.
There were a shitload of turnovers.
When teams score more than 60 points, to me, that's a shootout.
Not to me, because you got to look at how they were scored. You had a ton of big plays. I mean, all right, you want to call it a shootout? Call it a shootout. I don't think Carolina's doing, God, you got me so screwed up now. I don't think New England's doing that. Chris Edville has a good point. Stephon Gilmore can't handle a receiver that big, which is why DK Metcalf beat the hell out of him last week.
Mm-hmm.
This matchup lines up so badly. This is such a bad matchup for the Patriots because they can't run, and that's the one way you can hurt the Raiders because they don't stop the run well. But they have pass rushers for days.
Would that not lend into Cam Newton maybe getting away for a couple of big runs?
No.
At important times in the season?
No.
Or in the game?
Because where you attack them is right up the middle at defensive tackle. Cam ain't doing that. I'm just telling you, you go the New England side on this. That's fine. I don't even know the line, and I don't care. I know New England's going to be favored. I would wager it's probably
I don't think they win.
6. I'd say New England's probably a 6-point favorite.
Yep.
Is that what they are?
Yep.
Are you looking at it now?
I'm looking at it right now.
Nice.
New England -6.
Yeah, I'll take the Raiders comfortably. They just beat the Saints. This New England, it just cracks me up listening to people overreact. Well, look at Cam Newton. He looks like his 2015 self. No, he doesn't. He looks like he's played 2 shitty defenses and he had to throw a shitload in one, and the Dolphins couldn't stop him running. This is a big boy team, and frankly, I didn't even include this in the run up to big boy time. Do you know who they play in the next month?
The Patriots? No.
Oh, I'll tell you. Because I've been waiting for everything after this week. Now I'm looking at the Raiders going, maybe it starts this week. Because they go Chiefs at the Chiefs, Broncos, 49ers, Bills, then they get the Jets. That'll be good for Cam. Then they get the Ravens, Texans, Cardinals, Chargers, Rams. Woohoo! That's 9 of their next 10 games after they play the Raiders. That'll be fun.
Yep.
Won't that be fun, everybody? All that Cam Newton bullshit I've had forced down my throat for the last 2 weeks. Oh, I can't wait.
I'm not saying they're going to win. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I think that could be a good game.
I don't. I mean, I think it'll be fine. I think it's totally going to unveil the Patriots. Defensively, you cannot lose that many players and still be good, and this Raiders team just showed they can score.
Right.
Josh Jacobs is going to have a day because they're going to have to drop guys to cover Waller and Ruggs. They're just not that good in the back half. Not anymore. You know, the funny thing is Patrick Chung, who I've made a shitload of fun of, is probably the most qualified guy to defend Darren Waller because of how big and physical he is. But he's sitting at home. He don't want to play.
No, he's not having any fun.
Raiders Bills is the best game in the 1 o'clock slate, by the way.
Rams, Bills.
What'd I say?
You said Raiders.
Yeah, Rams.
Yeah,
Bills.
Rams, Bills. I would agree with that.
I think that's 2 good teams. Not great, good. I think it's 2 good, solid playoff teams that could get hot and do some things. I just think every other game in the 1 o'clock slate's a blowout.
A blowout. So you've got the Falcons blowing out the Bears.
Yep.
You got the Washington football team blowing out the Browns.
Yep.
Because I know you, and that's not even a question in your mind. Titans blow out the Vikings.
Hold on, before we go any further,
Yeah.
I have to mention this. So they're going to have fans in Brown Stadium for this game. Do you know the cheapest ticket for that game is $150?
That's crazy.
No wonder Browns fans are so sad. They're paying $2 bills to watch their team get the shit beat out of them. And they live in Cleveland.
Yeah, but I think that has to do with the scarcity of the tickets more than anything.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I got news for you. If you're paying $150 for a Browns Washington game, whoo-hoo,
You've got a problem.
you either have a lot of money or you have very little things to spend your money on.
So the Titans blow out the Vikings?
Yep. That game's a 2.5-point spread, and I can't wrap my head around it to save my life.
It is. Tennessee minus 2.5. 49ers obviously over the Giants.
I don't think that one's going to be a blowout because they're starting Nick Mullins, but I don't really think it matters.
You think the Steelers blow out the Texans?
I do.
And then which way are you taking in the Eagles-Bengals game? Eagles.
Large.
In a blowout.
Large and in charge. We're going to talk about this later. We're doing another fantasy football show at 12 o'clock today. This is the buy-sell show, guys that you should be looking to trade off or trade for. One of the guys I'm going to talk about in that show is Carson Wentz.
Yep.
This is the week for Carson Wentz. Baker Mayfield just looked good against this defense. What do you think Carson Wentz is going to do? Yeah, I think the Eagles blow out the Bengals.
Okay. Not given
The Bengals are going to be better at the back end of the season. When Burrow's comfortable with A.J. Green and Mixon's gotten comfortable, this is another bad week for Joe Mixon, in my opinion. And until they can get him on track, and he can help Joe Burrow, I think they're going to struggle.
I would expect this to be closer just because I know how bad the Eagles secondary is.
Not I said. Oh, Joe Burrow will have a game too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They're going to score some points. I'd really like to know. What's the over-under? 46. They might score that in the first half.
46. Okay. All right. I mean, I can get down with you on most of those. I think the Eagles-Bengals might be a little closer just because I just can't get past the fact that Carson Wentz keeps losing guys. I mean, Jalen Reagor tore his UCL in his thumb.
It happens every year.
Mm-hmm. They cannot stay healthy.
I'm telling you, they built that stadium on an ancient Indian burial ground or some shit.
They may have. Because, remember, they lost. I always remember. Ron always remembers. They lost the very first game in that stadium to our Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yep. So they've been cursed ever since, and I'm glad that our team could play a part in that. But you look at this team, and they're awful. I mean, their receiving options are awful.
Don't care.
You think they
Deshaun Jackson's still on that team, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, against that secondary, I like his chances a lot.
And then your the other choices in that passing game have to go to the two tight ends immediately after that, to Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert.
And guess what? Cincinnati's not good against tight ends.
And then you got Greg Ward and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, who has been
terrible.
He got pumped up a lot.
I was one of them.
He got pumped up a lot last year and hasn't done a whole lot. Maybe it's a breakout game for him or whatnot, but I don't know how Carson Wentz is going to fare. I'm starting to hit the panic button on Carson Wentz.
If you've got him anywhere, you trade him to me. You sell, I buy.
A lot is made of 0-2 teams in the NFL. Obviously, 12% of the time an 0-2 team can make the playoffs later on in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any in this group of 0-2 teams that you think can make the playoffs this year? You got the Philadelphia Eagles are one of them.
They can make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Nobody in the NFC. The
real
NFC is going to have one very simple problem. 4 of the 6 best teams in the conference are in the West.
Yep.
Well, 4 of the 7. Then you have the Cowboys, Packers, and Saints and Buccaneers. No, I don't think the Eagles can make the playoffs.
Yeah. Eagles.
Now in the AFC, I feel a little differently.
Okay. In the AFC, you've got, we can count out the Jets.
Real hard to make the playoffs when you go 0-16.
The Dolphins are 0-2. I don't think they're in prime position to make a playoff spot. Do you?
I think they're going to be closer than you think.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What have you seen out of the Miami Dolphins that makes you think that they could be a playoff team at some
They're
point?
certainly a better team. Certainly a better team. They hung right with the Patriots. That was a game in Gillette. And Buffalo's real good. They hung with Buffalo, who I think is one of the 3 best teams in the AFC.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they're a markedly better team than other people do. The Dolphins and the Broncos, I think they are way better than other people do.
They've got a very rough schedule.
Oh, the schedule sucks.
Their schedule's awful.
But they play the Jets twice, which will help.
Yeah.
I think they're going to take the next one from New England when New England has to come to Miami. Yeah, they'll lose to Buffalo again, but
sorry, I'm just doing some calculating in my head. I'm trying to think how many wins I see on their schedule, and I think I only see about 6 or 7.
well, I mean 6 or 7 still. It's not terrible
No,
for
it's
a
not
team that was.
No, it's not terrible.
They're going to
but
win tonight.
Yeah.
Just go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and make my call for tonight. They're going to beat Jacksonville tonight. I think they beat the Seahawks next week. If the 49ers are
He's
still
insane about the Seahawks, man.
okay. If the 49ers are still DMP dead in 2 weeks, then these 2 teams play each other, the Broncos and the Dolphins. Then it gets ugly. They play the Jets 2 weeks in a row, then they play the Bengals. Yeah, I can see them being 8-8.
Yeah, they got some real tough games.
They could be
on
8-8
that schedule.
with a god-awful schedule.
I mean, it's possible, but I think it's highly unlikely. I wouldn't put I think the best O2 team that I would give a shot in the AFC of making a playoffs
Denver.
would be Denver. Because I don't believe in Houston. Cincinnati's
Houston's
not
awful.
there. The Jets are god-awful. And the Broncos are the only other one. I think there's only really an argument to be made for
The Broncos.
maybe 3 teams.
Who's the third?
Huh?
Who's the third?
It would be the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, stop that. Stop that.
Okay.
They couldn't stop us. We could field a team of 53 people that watch this show, and we'd score on the Falcons.
Possibly.
They'd score on us.
They can hang. That's my only thing is they can hang. And so if fates go the right way, they might be able to pull together a winning record, but I doubt it.
Yeah, here's what the fates would have to be. 8 other teams in the NFC decided they didn't want to play football anymore. And those teams would have to not include the Lions and 2 teams from the NFC East.
You never know where you're going to be later on in the season.
Oh, I'll make a sweeping declaration. The Falcons ain't making the playoffs.
That's a bold statement. I'm saying that's the only other team that you could make an outside argument for right now that's 0-2.
It'd be real outside.
Yeah.
Super outside.
I'm not saying it's logical. I'm just saying that's how bad all the other teams are.
I got to pick this game tonight against the spread. I just realized that. And I don't know what the spread is.
You don't know what the spread is for tonight.
Not off the top of my head.
All right. Well,
Holy shit.
I will pull
Jacksonville's
that up
a
for you.
3-point favorite.
Yes.
Stop that. Dolphins in the money line. Not close.
Jacksonville.
And under 40. 48? What's a... Woo. Woo. Somebody got drunk as shit at that line. Woo, buddy.
So you're going under the
Dolphins
48.
in the under. Dolphins in the money line in the under.
Yeah.
This is going to be like 17-10.
I agree. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I'm with you on all of that because I don't understand how Jacksonville is a favorite against the Miami
Well, because
Dolphins.
they've hung it. Because they beat the Colts, who people are not realizing that was just a complete fluke. And they hung with the Titans, who I don't think are all that great. I think the Dolphins are better than the Titans.
I don't know about that.
I do. Completely.
Comparing the defenses, maybe I would give them the edge in that.
It will. if
You
you're comparing
look at all of the other positions. I don't.
No, I'm not real high on Derrick Henry, and he's been god awful through 2 weeks.
Yeah, but would you take Jordan Howard
No.
over that? Okay.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
No, I think the Dolphins and the Titans are way closer than you think they are. I can't tell you definitively. I think the Dolphins are. I do think they're better. I
You do
I
think
can't
they're
say I do
better.
think they're better.
You do think they're better. Okay. But I think there's there's the possibility that Jacksonville can score a lot of points because they do air it out a lot.
I don't think they're going to tonight. I love James Robinson tonight.
Okay.
I like Myles Gaskin tonight too.
All right, so featuring the running game tonight on Thursday Night Football, so it should be a real exciting matchup down in Jacksonville with the Dolphins
Do we know
and
what the weather
Jaguars.
do we know what the weather for that game's going to be?
I have not checked the weather.
I said before the show, I have not looked at this. I will almost guarantee you it's going to rain. Because I swear to God, every time the Dolphins or the Jaguars play on Thursday Night Football in their stadium, it's raining. It's not going to rain tonight. Yay. I hate watching. I'm not huge on Thursday Night Football anyway, and I really hate when it's played in the middle of a monsoon.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Looking forward to Game 4 in the Western Conference Finals tonight. LA Lakers and the Denver Nuggets. Jeremy's already taken the Nuggets. I think the Lakers are a 6-point favorite again
Nuggets
in that
money
ball
line.
game. Yep, it's definitely a make or break game in my opinion. Thursday Night Football, Dolphins and the Jaguars. Enjoy the festivities. We'll see you this afternoon on the radio side, ESPN Asheville. You can hear it everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene every afternoon from 3 to 5. And we'll be back with you here in the Sportsocracy tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And also hit that notifications button later on today. Our fantasy tips for week 3, buy, sell, or hold, coming up at you next. We'll see you tomorrow.